Thanks for joining in, everyone. This is Politics Today on Channels Television. I'm Sheung Okimbaloye. Well, this is a typical atmosphere on the streets of Osogbo, the capital of Osun State in Nigeria's southwest region. But that will soon change. In another few days, the people of Osun State will go to the polls to elect their governor. Politicians have been going around town to convince voters and sell the programs. Well, that's our major focus on the program tonight. We have been bringing you the top parties in the race and their candidates. The Labour Party's Fatai Akinbade has been on the program, and the last time, the PDP's Iyolo Omisore was also in Politics Today. And today, we'll bring you the All Progressives Congress, and we will want to hear from them what they have for the people of Osun State as they seek the re-election. Before we get into that matter, let's take a quick one at some of the top stories of the week. Well, stalemate is what you may want to describe it, the situation in Nasarawa State on the issue of impeachment move made against Governor Tanko Al-Makura. The battle has slightly shifted, and it looks it's between the chief judge of the state and the House of Assembly. Just as a panel, the Assembly instructed the chief judge to, just as a panel it was about to sit, the chief judge constitutes what to allow them to commence their sitting. Some of the lawmakers instructed the chief judge to dissolve the panel. And here is what one of the lawmakers, the chairman of the House Committee on Information, Mr. Baku, has to say on the solution of the panel.
The CJ should dissolve and reappoint fresh persons to work in terms of investigation of the 16-count allegations on the governor. Guidelines is still with the Assembly, so committee can now assume sitting. Since they are not properly appointed, we've not given them guidelines to operate.
Well, that's the chairman of the House Committee on Information. But the panel on its own commenced sitting, and they don't look moved by the lawmakers' dissolution order. And on that very first day that they met, here is what they had to say to this very dissolution order made by the lawmakers.
With regards to the resolution of the House, we cannot say anything. We cannot say anything. It does not concern us. It does not involve us. So we have no comment on that.
Well, the lawmakers still stand on the fact that the panel be dissolved, the counsel to the governor and that of the lawmakers have made move to make the chief judge act according to their demands. And as a controversy rages on, where will the pendulum swing? Does the Constitution permit the chief judge to dissolve the panel after it has constituted it? Well, I guess in the course of the week, we may get clearer perspective on this particular matter. Well, let's move away from Nasarawa politics to onto a swift one, and we run to Osun State in Nigeria's southwest. Take a look at some of the figures that will be determining some of the major things we'll be seeing in that particular election. There are 20 candidates in the election out of all the political parties. 20 were able to field a candidate. Well, and we have 30 local government areas in the state, and about 1.5 million voters in the state. Interestingly, there are more female voters in the state. Out of the about 1.5 million voters that we have, female voters take about 53%, while there are only 47% male voters in Osun State. Those are the figures there. There are 3,010 polling units in Osun State. But take a look at the top 3 local government areas, and some of which the politicians will have their attention on. Well, if I can get that particular slide now, Osogbo leads is the biggest local government area in terms of voting population, followed by Ife Central and Ife East. Those are the top local government areas in terms of voting population in Osun State. Osogbo local government, Ife Central, and Ife East with 81,430 voters. Well, on Saturday, the People's Democratic Party held what they say is their last campaign ahead of the Saturday, August 9, 2014 election. And you know what? Almost everyone that matter in the party were present, from the president, Goodluck Jonathan, to the vice president, Namadi Sambo, the party leadership, BOT chairman, the governors, the party national chairman, former governors of the PDP. All of them graced the event, which saw massive turnout of people, residents across the state, turn up at the Osogbo Township Stadium. Well, at the rally, President Goodluck Jonathan was very clear about the plans to deploy adequate security for the process. Well, that appears to be in line with the INEC chairman's plans of using a similar template that was used for the Ekiti election. The president declared support for all the party's candidates, Senator Yolo Omishori, and assured a free and fair polls. Let's hear what the president said about security situation and the conduct of the particular poll.
We will make sure that Osun State is properly policed. And anybody who calls himself a thug or a militant or whatever name you call yourself, you find your way to Osun State that day, be rest assured that the security operatives will deal with you according to law.
Well, those are very clear terms where the president came out to say, look, security will be deployed. Well, no thuggery, nothing like ballot stuffing. If what we saw in Ekiti is a perfect situation, I guess it's just one thing that we might be seeing again in Osun State. Heavy deployment of the police and some deployment from the military. Well, still talking about the Osun governorship election, the APC have been reacting to events of the past days. And this time around, they say they have uncovered plans to rig the Osun election with the use of officials who they consider pliable. The party has now come to ask INEC not to allow any unscrupulous person to serve as a returning officer for the election and to pay special attention to voting in the identified local government. They said they've identified about 10 local governments where they said the PDP plans to influence the outcome of the election. That was from a statement from the party's National Publicity Secretary, Lai Mohammed. Well, in a swift reaction to that particular statement there, the PDP says that it's too late for the APC to catch up. And otherwise, the APC, they say that otherwise the APC has neglected the people and devoted its time and energy on chasing shadows. The PDP candidate, they say, used its existing structures to vigorously engage in all-inclusive campaign with very strong message, which resulted in the current overwhelming followership in Osun State. The party also says that they have a very popular and hard-working candidate with very strong bond with the people of Osun State, a candidate with the most extensive political structure. That's according to the PDP and the PDP National Publicity Secretary, Olusola Adeyeye. Well, as the party's trade words and the election day closes in, the eyes of the world will now be on Osun State, and we will keep tab on the process here on Channels Television till the very end to bring you all the very angles of the Osun State governorship election. Here on Politics Today, for the past week, we've brought you some of the top contenders in the race, and they have told us the program as they prepare to take control of the state. But who will win? Who has the most people-oriented manifesto? And what will determine this very election? Find out as we probe into the APC agenda on the program tonight ahead of the polls. Join us after this break.